Hola, ¿cómo estás? Estoy bien. Seguro que ha sido Sorry about that. So, yeah, it sure has been a while since I made a video. Some may know what most of that time went to, but I've also been doing a bit of a traveling. My mother wanted to travel to see Venice before it sinks and also to meet some relatives in Barcelona and Valencia. She didn't want to go alone, so she asked me if I wanted to go, and I said, sure, why not? Get in a little more culture, get out of this tiny little home, not being so much in front of the computer and all that. You know, getting out, see the world and all that, travel. And we booked some Interrail tickets to take us in a roundabout way. So we Interrailed down to Venice and spent 2 nights there. Then we flew over to Barcelona because, well, we couldn't book any direct trains along the southern coast of France. So we tried to book, but it kind of took us halfway, if not all the way into Paris before coming all the way down into Spain. The French. So we took a flight to Barcelona and spent the night there. Then we took the train down to Valencia and we spent 5 nights there. Now the plan was that we'd spend 5 nights there, then go back to Barcelona, 5 nights there, and then go to the Netherlands where I would show my mother the beauty of Efteling. Sadly, the day before we were to go back to Barcelona, my mother fell and hit her knee badly and ended up in the hospital, and she spent 3 weeks in the Valencian hospital. Me, I spent another 4 days, but I had this panic of some sort because it was a strange place. I was on a special diet. Things didn't quite work out for me, so sort of regrettably, I had to leave. And I continued the trip according to the booked tickets. However, instead of going to Efteling, I actually decided to go to Rotterdam. I actually knew someone from there, so I went there, met up, and he suggested that I take the boat tour across along the Rotterdam harbour. I did that, and it was good. Then I headed towards Amsterdam and waited for my train. Didn't know which track it was going to come on, so I waited, and there, the display, it says, night train, track 7, it was grayed out. I asked, and they said track 7. I waited at track 7, nothing happened. I asked again, they said the same thing, until the very last minute, they said track 11. I ran, but missed the train. So I didn't get my comfy couchette. Instead, I got a new route of 6 changes before finally coming to familiar territory known as Copenhagen. There I bought new tickets to Gothenburg and stayed at my mother's place until she returned. From this experience, I think I'm going to be flying from here on out. May Interrail down to Amsterdam, but any further is by flight. But now on to something else. I know in my previous 2 videos I talked about something about maybe some editing in the source engine, but it doesn't look like I'm gonna get there anytime soon. I'm getting caught up in other projects and other strange things, and I haven't bought a new computer yet. I don't know when I'm gonna get around to that, so it's just to wait.
7.5
What, not till next week?
million years.
Okay, maybe not that bad. In the meantime, I'll try to remember to make other videos pertaining to some Jedi Knight projects or something else. Also, about my video spreadings, I've come to a bit of a wall. Been uploading almost everything, and I've come to my Sonic reviews. You probably know that YouTube supports Subtitles, but these other sites don't seem to support it well or at all. This means I'll have to place the subtitles onto the video, you know, hard subs, not soft subs, hard onto the actual image. However, I'm in need of help from someone who knows enough Japanese to proofread my subtitles. Once they are placed on the video, I can't change any mistakes that there may be, so I would like to make sure that they are as perfect as possible. You're probably thinking that they're good enough at the moment, but I would say that these 3 question marks aren't good enough to be published. Well, they are published now, but not to be good enough to be placed permanently onto a video. So please, anyone who can, please help me with this. Would appreciate it a lot. So, oh and yes, 2 new roller coaster games are now released. Roller Coaster Tycoon 4 is here, and it's crap! It is only made for the Apple products iPhone, iPod, iPad, and it resembles Roller Coaster Tycoon 1 or 2. It advertises that there's no limit to your imagination, and that you can build the ultimate park. But with the modding communities for Roller Coaster Tycoon 3, it would seem that you can do much more and much better in Roller Coaster Tycoon 3. Also, it is only in Roller Coaster Tycoon 3 where you can ride the rides. I mean, wasn't that the highlight of everything? First you had this tiny little window where you saw the coaster, then it was all in 3D which you could ride the rides. And it says share your part, but I think it's only to share viewing. I don't think there'll be any video recording features. Well, screen capture maybe, but we were hoping that Roller Coaster Tycoon 4 would be much better, much more, graphics-wise. But it seems like due to a financial crisis in Atari, it all went downhill. Now, I've been out of touch with the Roller Coaster Tycoon 3 community, so I don't know what kinds of custom scenery or rides there are, or which websites are the best for it all. Will I get back to Roller Coaster Tycoon 3? Maybe.
Maybe.
And speaking of No Limits, No Limits 2 is out. I looked at the demo and it lags quite a bit on my poor little laptop, maybe 5 to 7 frames per second on the simplest landscapes, and on the lowest graphics settings. So again, I need a new computer. Also, there seems to be a new scripting feature, no doubt for all the transfer track systems, as well as custom animations. It also allows you to operate everything manually. So when will I get it and start making coasters in this? Well, apart from it being laggy, it will cost me around 750 Swedish monetary units and half my computer resources. I know there is a standard version for about half the price. However, there is this feature called Spline Export. I'm not entirely sure what that means, but I'm guessing I could export my track to 3D Studio Max and probably render the ride in all sorts of custom fancy textures, reflection refractions, transparencies and lights, maybe? But of course, if the export can only be read by the latest 3D Studio 2015 Unlimited Professional Edition, then I guess I won't have any use for it. In other news, it would seem that Sweden is a little more racist than previously thought. Not long ago there was a European election, and the Swedish political party that is against immigration got an increase in votes and got in. I feel sort of ashamed to be Swedish. So now that I've given you a reason not to come to Sweden, here's a reason why you should. The Gathering! No, wrong gathering. I'm talking about the SlayRadio Gathering. And again, I'll be setting up live feed from within the pub on the 2nd of August, around 6 PM Greenwich Mean Time, maybe? Maybe later. I don't know. Somewhere around there. Tune in then. For those who can make it, I'll fill you in on the details. The 1st of August is the pre-gathering, where we meet at a pub called Kville Biljard at around 5 PM, and we, have a bit of a chinwag, beer drinking and all that. On the 2nd of August, weather permitting, we will have a barbecue up on a mountain called Kailas Park at around lunchtime. Later in the afternoon, we will head down to Kville Biljard and have some more beer drinking, pool playing in the back room. Live video feed will be set up on Bambuser for those who can't make it, and you can join us on Bambuser's chat, IRC, Facebook, Twitter, and any other social mediums if we are there to see them. So that's pretty much all the news I have for now. I'll see you again at some point, somewhere, somehow.